Josh Brolin and Jake Gyllenhaal's 2015 survival movie, Everest, is now streaming on Netflix and it is definitely worth a watch. The movie serves as a retelling of the events of the 1996 Mount Everest disaster that saw 8 climbers lose their lives and left others fighting bitterly for survival. Everest boasts an impressive cast of A-list stars including Jason Clarke, Robin Wright, Keira Knightley and more beyond Brolin and Gyllenhaal, and their performances are all very thrilling and compelling. Additionally, because Everest is based on a true story, it highlights the dangers involved in mountaineering. While numerous people climb Mount Everest every year with skilled guides, there is still no denying that the activity is dangerous and that hazardous weather conditions can arise quickly on the mountain. Everest ends on a somber note, sharing more about the after-effects of the tragedy for just one survivor, Beck Weathers, Brolin. Though the movie is quite intense throughout its runtime, Netflix audiences who enjoy survival stories should check out the 10-year-old movie that has arguably only gotten more impressive with time. Everest is now streaming on Netflix just ahead of its 10-year anniversary. Everest was originally released in September 2015. Everest was first released in theaters on September 18, 2015, and nearly a decade later it has found its streaming home on Netflix. At the time of its release, Everest was fairly well received by critics and audiences alike. The movie holds a 73% critical approval rating on Rotten Tomatoes alongside a 68% audience rating. Reviewers noted positive aspects of the film, such as the cast's portrayal of real people and the beautiful intensity of director Baltasar Kormaker's depiction of the setting. However, others criticized the movie's inability to fully emotionally connect with viewers. Alongside the movie's mostly positive reviews, Everest was met with box office success immediately following its release. Interestingly, before receiving a wide theatrical release, Everest got its start in IMAX 3D theaters, which was fitting for its impressive visuals. Following its wide release, the film ultimately grossed $203 million on a budget of $55 million, via Box Office Mojo. Though Everest was not among the highest-grossing films of 2015, it was certainly successful in its own right, and it now has the chance to find all new audiences on Netflix. Everest's cast is now more impressive than it was in 2015. The ensemble cast features many well-known names. Everest may be led by Jason Clarke, Jake Gyllenhaal, and Josh Brolin, but the impressive cast goes far beyond them. Other people that join these characters on their trek up the mountain and at base camp include John Hawkes, Emily Watson, Elizabeth Debicki, Martin Henderson, Vanessa Kirby, and more. While these actors were already in recognizable movies and TV shows prior to the film, several of them are undeniably more famous now. For example, both Elizabeth Debicki and Vanessa Kirby have since made appearances in the award-winning show, The Crown. Keira Knightley and Robin Wright both make appearances as the spouses of several of the climbers, showing that the impressive cast extends beyond the characters on Everest to give the movie a more grounded emotional basis. While both Knightley and Wright were already very big stars in 2015, each of them has continued to further their careers in impressive ways since then. Perhaps the most surprising supporting appearance in Everest is that of Mia Goth, who portrays the teenage daughter of Beck Weathers, Brolin. While at the time Goth was unknown, she has since headlined several successful films. How Everest still holds up 10 years later. Everest has a gripping plot and great performances. Everest's scope and cast were definitely impressive at the time that the film was released, and those aspects arguably look even better now. The movie's visuals still look great and create the perfect sense of both the beauty and danger of the setting without losing sight of the characters that are the true heart of the film. Everest's story is one about humanity's desire for adventure and its dangers. However, the movie does not lose sight of the fact that this was a real tragedy, and is respectful in its portrayal of the spirit of the mountaineers. Additionally, because many of the movie's cast members have become more successful in the intervening years, Everest provides a reminder of those performers' talents. The movie is a haunting recounting of real events, but despite its bleak ending, audiences are never left without hope or affection for the real mountaineers who are truly brought to life by the performers. Even 10 years after its release, Everest is still one of the best recent survival films that remains as entertaining as it was in 2015.